Our seminar will be on the topic of negative symbiosis. It has its roots back to the beginnings of the 20th century when a lot of German Jewish intellectuals were putting forward the notion of a German-Jewish symbiosis. And they used this biological metaphor, which designates two organisms that in a sense nurture each other and that enrich each other, to talk about the German-Jewish encounter and really portray it in a very, very positive, very hopeful light. Needless to say, the events of the 20th century did not exactly support that very optimistic view. And after the Holocaust, a new concept emerged, first from the very distinguished German Jewish philosopher Hannah Arendt, and then by the contemporary German Jewish scholar Dan Diener. And this is the idea of negative symbiosis. And what do we mean by that? We mean the idea that these two peoples have in common the fact that their identities are both shaped by the legacy of the Holocaust. But rather than this being a uniting factor, it is very often a sharply dividing factor because some are the descendants of victims, others are the descendants of perpetrators. So in this seminar, we'll be reading a number of works by both German and Jewish authors, as well as viewing a number of films from both points of view. And I think these will really give us a good idea of how complex and thought-provoking this whole history has been. We're going to be looking at different genres, different periods, and there are distinct periods if we look at all the time since 1945. And another difference is the various successor states, as they're called, to Nazi Germany until 1990, East and West Germany, and then also Austria, and how these different states have really handled it. So we'll be looking at all of this, but at the same time, I think this will open up some very interesting questions for us as Americans. And that is, how do we deal with the troubling parts of our past? Whether we think of slavery, whether we think of the killing of Native Americans in the 19th century, how do we deal with it? Well, should we feel guilty as Americans today? No. But if we take pride in ourselves as Americans, if we take pride in our national heritage, shouldn't we also feel some sense of a kind of collective responsibility for this heritage? And I think that's a good question to ask in terms of the German-Jewish situation as well. So I really look forward to seeing a lot of you in this seminar. I think there will be some very, very fruitful discussions from which we can all learn a lot, myself included, and I hope to see you there.